Greetings and the best of salutations. Just want to talk a little bit about success in this that which is also um, celebrated in in a world of that is driven by material materialism. Success, as it is defined by some or this particular dictionary, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. The good or bad outcome of an undertaking. We know that there are many people who have definitions of success. Earl Nightingale has his, Booker T. Washington has his, and many others has their definition for success, you know. But if I do a encoding and decoding of success based upon the English alphabet system, and the English alphabet system consists of 26 letters in the alphabet system, and each alphabet has a number tied to it, like A would be 1 and B would be 2 and C would be 3. But if I look at success and encode it and decode it, we'll see what success comes out to be. Let's see here as we get to this. Mm-hmm. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17. Well, sum total, if you break it all down, if you have a number such as 26 and you put 2 and 6 together, it will equal 8. So the sum total of it in the diminutive sense, or when you break it down, I believe it comes up to be 8. Success has the energy about it as the energy of money, wealth, and power. Money, wealth, and power. What is money? You know, there's a saying, a Greek saying, I forgot the term, but money is the man, you know. When I think of man, I think of potential, you know, that has been the seed has been planted in us is the seed of potential. The potential to rise above the function of this material world. Money is the tool of the hand of the architect. There are those who used to trade chocolate. I believe it was the Aztecs. You know, they had a trade and barter system. This thing of money, piece of paper, something say that you are on the money, which means you are on point. Success, the money and the accumulation of wealth and power. It says that for most part, people that don't have the money, don't have not accumulated the wealth, does not have any power, any juice to be accepted or even visibly seen by others in this material world. Surely there are those who guide this type of system, program, way of thinking, so that we tend to interact with one another based upon the wealth that one has, the wealth that one's have. There are those who have wealth as it pertains to their friendships, their associates, their compadres, their confidants. Wealth of friends, that interact with one another because they have wealth and they have acquired a certain amount of knowledge and understanding of how to go about in a creative sense to obtain that wealth. And then there must be a certain amount of knowledge and understanding of how to maintain it. But when the wealth departs, then the wealth, and then the power, then you start to feel the powerlessness, powerlessness, which means there is no energy, there is no drive, in you. What is the motivating factor, when it comes to the success, the aim, or purpose? I realize that the aim is accountability. One's true purpose is to move beyond sympathy to empathy, and therefore addressing the spirit of apathy. There are those who use innovative and creative ways to get themselves out of a sense of being impoverished or poverty. There is a term called in societies, I know in this language of the United States, it's called ghetto. There's a term called poverty, then there's concentrated poverty, just as there's concentrated wealth, but it seems as though the word concentration is pertains to one's focus, as if there is a concentrated or an exerted effort that is synthesized, that it is useful for one or for a people or a certain segment of society to remain in poverty. There are policies and laws that possibly could be created to go about and probably have, if one knows of any, to eradicate poverty. There are those who have fought to create higher wages that people, working people, wouldn't have to struggle as much because where there is poverty, there is a criminal element. And when there is a criminal element, you have to think about those who are in office, that be the politicians, those who create the laws. Then we deal with certain committees. We deal with the lobbyists. You deal with constituents. It's all politics, which is the lowest accommodation of science. Seem as though that they accommodate themselves. And when one has accommodation, it is at his or her convenience that make you to become inconvenient, struggling on a daily basis to escape the slavery of economic bondage. There was a sister by the name of, here in the United States, her name was Harriet Tubman, freeing these slaves, as they call it. And we know slave is associated with the term Slavic, particular language that one speaks. So it is associated too with language when it comes to poverty, success, and money, wealth, and power. It struck a blow to the economy of the South. Something that took place here in the United States, and the people refused to ride the bus, struck a blow to the transportation system. Not to mention at that time that those who were fighting to integrate was neglecting their own independence and economic independence and integrating with others to empower them, while a few rise above and dilute the struggle to eliminate economic poverty for a people and independence for a people, which diluted the struggle, and the remainder of the people still remained in poverty in their thinking, in their thought, and they wonder what happened. Were they being misled, being misguided, and did not take the commerce approach toward economic independence and eliminated economic poverty, economic bondage. Success, the aim or the purpose, the aim is accountability. Before there is accountability, there is responsibility. Before there is responsibility, there is duty. Before there is duty, there is order. Before there is order, there is harmony. So when we're talking about success, its aim and its purpose, we have to have the correct interpretation and the correct understanding. It is success when we see the sun and the moon and the stars and how everything evolves around that. That's harmony. They coexist one with another. We also have to be forever mindful of those planets, that each has a magnetic force, that they are not going to let nothing, you know, come and contaminate and corrupt its success. Which means we realize that planet Earth is a sociological structure where there's inclusions and exclusions, and there is some newfound status in one's life. Why would you let anyone else come and bring you down? Realizing that slavery is a thing of status control, he or she who creates the importance of economic necessities and economic relations, who creates that, determines the status of that relationships. So money, wealth, and power, someone is controlling the status of how we relate one with another when it comes to money, when it comes to wealth, it comes to power. We realize this here too, that the word policy itself is a Greek term from the word of polis, whereas that the rich and the rich or the wealthy, when men and women couldn't participate in politics. And we deal with policy, police, and we deal with police. That would be the brutalization class to reinforce this thing of status control when it comes to obtaining money, wealth, and power. Someone says that the ghetto was created to perpetuate one's powerlessness. I believe that was Brother Dr. King. So there's the perpetuation of powerlessness. You know, when you're able to not pay your electric bill, to cut your power, and we know Tesla and all his inventions created one, knowing that the electricity is it's, uh, it's created in association with water, and wanted to give it to the people, give it to them free. Now I don't know who's controlling the grid of electricity, if I may use that term in that way. So who's controlling the grid when it comes to success, his aim and his purpose? Who's controlling the manner and way in which we interact with one another? Then we deal with harmony, we have to deal with order. As I said earlier about this magnetic force, because there is inclusions and exclusions. Planet Earth is a sociological structure. Maybe there's a certain percentage of people, 97% if it's so, don't know how the term came up. If someone says that either people are conformists, integrationists, or assimilants, there are those who come across this the shores of America. Give us our tide, our poor, who are able to assimilate, change their names, assimilate amongst what they call the success or privileged class. Then there are those who are able to integrate, assimilate, and conform to the method and the manner and way in which attaining wealth through entertainment and achieve great success. There are those who do well in academic achievement in order to obtain a certain level of success. And in this success is like being accepted, being a part, and you find your place of belonging. But do you really find your place of belonging? Because we have found our place of belonging just by being here from the conception of our mother's womb. But yet some along the way something got into the our attitude and the condition in which we were born in. We had no control of it, and therefore we start to come to the realization of the environment in which we live in was not a healthy one. It was not a one that was considered to be successful because of this thing called money, wealth, power. So people will seek out ways, however they do it, to obtain it. But yet it could be at a cost, it could be at a price. That's why it says that truth cannot be sacrificed for anything, for any interest. Interest could be sacrificed for truth. Only interest could be sacrificed. Truth cannot be sacrificed to any interest. Realize truth is the cause that impacts the results of one's reality. You think about that. So then, this order, before anything manifests itself, it must first have order. There are those in their attitude and they thinking, they says, the big fish swallow up the big fish. That's very animalistic. That which is given to us as human beings to be able to control our instincts. And the open enemy, there is an open enemy when we're unable to control our instincts, because war is just symptoms of humankind not able to control their animal instinct. But at the same time, the animals will know the importance of working together, of coexisting with one another. You learn a lot from them. We're here to learn and evolve from each other. If there is a day of reckoning, is a day of reckoning that reveals to us our accomplishments and our failures. So in this order, there is duty. Honor and duty says to your country. That is a national identity. But there is a universal identity, honor and duty to the universe. The good stewards of the universe, some would say a kahilif, a good steward over one's thinking, one's attitude, one's behavior. We come out of the substance from our mama womb to now, and we must use the substance in which we come out of in the best of ways for the development of one's intellect, for the betterment of humanity. Then we deal with this responsibility. All we're doing is responding to our ability, the natural inclination of our ability to evolve, become the best human being and possible, because the material that has been given to us to build on our humanity is character. Because if there is an issue, it is an issue of character resolve. And character is the outgrowth of one's humanity. It's a duty, a responsibility. Then the aim is accountability unto coming into complete civility, and therefore one should be at peace with that accountability. When you go to what they call the bank, check your account, make sure there is the balance. Oh, that is the key to life. So I'm just leery now when I see people who have escaped economic bondage under the sophistication of the society in which we live, in their manipulation thereof, that I see the resentment that can be brought about due to that success. I see it in the entertainment field. When their children are successful, but yet that resentment of pushing them to be successful, they turn to this adulation, this addiction to it, that they render their children unprotected. But at the same time, they create an environment. The environment is created that gives the children the confidence that they need, because they see that which is close to them, that they are successful, that I too can be successful. So it renders them an environment of confidence. But be aware of the confidence trickster. Anyone that puts you in a position to gain your confidence, then therefore the reputation precedes them. I'm saying therefore the method and the way of attaining wealth and how you go about getting it is somewhat consumes you. Then that that methodology perceives and overlook the underlying principle. And an underlying principle is to protect the integrity and protect the dignity and the morals of the attitude and the thinking and the behavior of your child. They won't be pushed out there to a point where you render them unprotected by the society, by the thinking of a devil who will consume them by going in the manner way of obtaining that success. And therefore, they don't find their true purpose in life, and to serve as a disservice to humanity. But who is the judge of that? Not I. You think about that. And you know how this society, when it comes to obtaining wealth, and he or she who prints the dollar, the greenbacks, he or she who controls the distribution of wealth, you know how they treat you, how they have treated you, and how they treat others. Nothing changes. The principle of it never changes, only the methodology. So I'm just kind of leery of I see these people who are financially successful and their children are successful, but at a price, and some are willing to sacrifice even their own soul to be successful in this society. There is a challenge that one does not want to remain in economic bondage and poverty. One wants value, acceptance, to be appreciated, to be respected, admired, and even wanting to be worshipped. Worship at the feet of human success based upon money, wealth, and power. Not at the expense of character, integrity, dignity, ethics, and morality. I say this, you make the call. You make the call. There are those who have lost their life in a performance based culture as well, due to drugs and the stress and the adulation. But it was somewhat deemed as to be worthy of the sacrifice. But who are you sacrificing your life for and your life to? Because truth cannot be sacrificed to any interest. Well, there is a saying in closing about a political party or group of people. Some may know who they are when I say this. It says there is no permanent friends. This is their motto. There is no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. I go further to say that interest is driven by policy. Policy, police, place where rich people who only could vote and participate in politics. Is that they are the ones that are visible. That's visible. They are seen. Whereas those who have no wealth and power, no influence, they are invisible. Well, get some money, man, they say. Get some influence. Then you can be seen, then you can be heard, then you can be credible. Yes, I hear you. Watch Be careful what you put out and what you ask for. You might not like how it comes back. For there are those that are rising up and saying, I am here. I am credible with my dignity, with my character, with my integrity, and with my morals. And you will see that you will have to answer to those whom have been invisible. Now they are visible. They are right in your face. Until next time, talk to you.